It is a well-worn observation, but bears repeating. We think in terms of scarcity, but our God is a God of abundance. Hello, I'm Stuart Baskin, pastor of First Presbyterian Church of Tyler, Texas. And this is your daily devotional for Friday, November 28th, 2025. It's a familiar story, one of the most familiar in the Gospels. But its very familiarity can prevent us from fully understanding it. The story is one of the feeding stories that are sprinkled throughout the Gospels. At this stage of the game, Jesus is having more and more confrontations with the scribes and Pharisees. He's gone north from the region of Galilee to what is now southern Lebanon, where he has had an encounter with a Canaanite woman. Now he's back in his usual stomping grounds around the Sea of Galilee, performing a variety of healings for the crowd that's following him. Now he wants to get them something to eat. Let's listen in once again to the first part of this story. Then Jesus called his disciples to him and said, "I have compassion for the crowd, because they have been with me now for 3 days and have nothing to eat. And I do not want to send them away hungry, for they might faint on the way." The disciples said to him, "Where are we to get enough bread in the desert to feed so great a crowd?" Jesus asked them, "How many loaves have you?" They said, 7, and a few small fish. You see, the disciples think exactly the same way you and I do. They see a crowd and compare it to their resources and conclude that it's an impossible task. But Jesus asks a question that operates on 2 distinct levels. How many loaves have you? At one level, this is just a basic factual question. Jesus is taking inventory to see what resources are available. If Jesus thought the way we do, he would have gone into problem-solving mode to find a creative solution to the problem. But Jesus doesn't think like us. He doesn't think in terms of scarcity and inventories and logistics. So his question operates on a very different level from the factual. It is a signal to the disciples that whether they know it or not, they have everything they need. The feeding miracle serves as an object lesson to them that what they have is sufficient for the problems they face. How many loaves have you? Invites them to focus not on what they don't have, but on what they do have. All right, I can almost hear you saying through the camera, yes, but like the disciples, we live in a real world. Just try feeding 4,000 people with 7 loaves and a few fish. We can't expect a miracle to occur every time our resources are short. Yes, I hear you. But this story, like most of Jesus' healings and miracles, is not about the miracle itself, but rather what it points to. It is a sign of the new reality of the kingdom of heaven that God is inaugurating even now. You see, miracles are not about proving that Jesus is divine, nor are they simply one-off services to the needy. They are signs that demonstrate what the kingdom itself is all about. With Old Testament prophets, they would be what we would call sign acts, things that are like living illustrations of the message of the prophet. In the life and ministry of Jesus, they point to some aspect of God and the kingdom of heaven. I think the case of the feeding of the multitude, they point to the notion that our God is a God of abundance, who provides us more than we can ask or imagine. How many loaves have you? However many you have, it's probably sufficient. Now may God continue to bless you and keep you in all that you do this day and in all the days ahead.